If lead generation is an important part of your business, you need to check out Fillout's new conversion kit. These features will transform your lead forms, boosting conversions with features like intelligent autocomplete, custom routing options, scheduling, and so much more. I will show you how to get started. Check this out. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Zach Stevenson. I'm a business process and no-code consultant. If you need help streamlining or automating any of your business processes, you can visit our website, innerdevsolutions.com, or you can click the link in the description below to book a free consult. This is the web page for Fillout's new conversion kit. So if we go through this here, you can see all the different features and options that this new feature set has for you. The conversion kit is a paid set of features. I'll scroll down to the bottom here and you can see you can get it starting at $50 a month. And that provides you with 100 enriched leads. And there's different options to be able to increase your lead count. So anywhere from $50 upwards, depending on how many leads that you need to enrich with your forms. But as mentioned, it allows for form abandonment recovery. You can enrich your leads with Clearbit. I'll show you what that means shortly here. There's lead scoring. There's autocomplete using the Google Maps API. There's form autofill. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this set of features. This person here left a testimonial and they closed a lot more leads, doubling their sign-up rate with this conversion kit. I'll go through it. You can do things like routing leads, use email validation, smart scheduling. You can recover lost leads. If somebody starts to fill out your form and end up closing it and don't complete it, assuming that they've added their email, as that's the first item on the list, you can set it up so that yourself or someone on your team will get notified after a set amount of time that this form was abandoned, or you can have it set up so that the person completing the form ends up getting notified in an hour or a day or whatever you want it to be that they did not finish completing the form. Boosting conversion with autocomplete. Basically what that means, there's a couple parts to this. So Google Maps autocomplete, as you can see here, if you start filling out the address, there will pop up to being the address here. They select it and it will complete other fields. The form autocomplete, this is the Clearbit part. So if they enter an email address that is within this massive database, Clearbit offers, it will bring in any other information that is related to that email address, like company name, company size, revenue, the user's first and last name, depending on what's available within the database. I will dive into actually building a form and the different options that we have. The very first thing that we want to add is we will click this email input, because that's the very first field we want users to provide to us while we're collecting this lead information. You can see here, there's this enrich with conversion kit. I will turn on some of those features shortly, but there's a few other default fields that we're going to want to do. So I'll just add a short answer twice here, and I will add things like first name, last name, and there's some options we can go half with. So what that will allow us to do is we'll put these fields beside each other. We'll maybe want company name. It can be a short answer as well, a select field or a drop-down field, and this could be project budget. We could do things like less than 1,500, and we could do 1,500 to 5,000 and 5,000 plus. We'll just keep it really simple. We mark that as required. We want email. That's obviously got to be required, and just a few other fields to add to show you the full effects and full powers of this new conversion kit feature set. I'm going to add something called a section. Add this section here. I can name it additional company details. And I'm going to drag that down to the bottom because I'm going to add a couple of other fields here. It's going to be company address. I will add a URL input, and this can be company website. And within this section, I'm going to add some logic, and I only want this to show when the project budget is not empty and when the project budget is not equal to less than $1,500. The purpose of this is I am going to add some logic in the routing that if the user selects that their budget is under $1,500, they do not meet our requirement. There's no point for them to add this additional information. If we want to be able to follow up with them because we've done some research and realized that there's a good chance that their project budget could be higher, well, then we've collected some information, but there's no point wasting their time in collecting these additional details. We can leave it up to us to determine and decide if we want to look into it further. Back to the conversion kit element, I will select this email here. I will go down to enrich, and there's a few options here. So one thing I do want to do is disallow free email accounts. I don't want to get people filling out forms that have a Gmail account or Hotmail account or Yahoo, something like that. I want business account only. So I can toggle that on. And then there is a provide a business email address. So if someone adds john@gmail.com, they will get a notification showing that they need to provide a business email address rather than a personal email address. The next option is validate email addresses. So let's say, for example, john@example.com accidentally put in john@exam and forgot the LE, or put example.co, something like that. It will do a quick search and find out if that email is actually real. So then that way it will notify the user that they have an error within their email address, or it limits fake submissions coming from fake email addresses that don't actually exist. So we'll have that turned on. And then the last feature that I want to turn on is this enrich with Clearbit. So I'll turn that on, and you can see here there's a couple of options. So again, let's say john@example.com enters in the email address, and we can have it set to none, so nothing will happen, or autofill. And what's going to happen if we map those fields accordingly? If within the Clearbit database, it's found that john@example.com works at Example Company, Inc., and it's found the website, and it's found his first and last name, something along those lines, it will pre-fill those fields for us. Other option is this shorten form. So what's going to happen is it will, again, find that information. And if it's found that information, it will fill the website, the company website, something like that, and it will hide it to really shorten the form. The idea is that should boost conversions as well, because it's making the form a lot more simple. I'll just select this autofill and I'll map these fields accordingly. I'll bring in the first name, last name field, company name, and the company website. And then, so this is where Clearbit has found data. So we'll go lead first name, last name, the company name, and the company website. Once that email address gets entered, it will search for this information, and wherever it finds it, it will map it to those fields. So I can close that out. That's all set up now. And there's one other setting that I want to turn on. I'll go down to this company address, again, down to the autocomplete, and I will turn on the autocomplete function. It says here that I need to refresh my page. I'll go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to give some of these features a quick test. So I'll go into preview, and one that I'm quite sure will work for us is adding Tim Cook from Apple, his email address here. I'm sure it has all of that information. You can see that it has added his email address, and it's brought in his first name, last name, the company he works for. I'll add a budget so that you can see it's brought in his company website as well. So that's using that Clearbit feature to auto-populate some of this information. There's now additional steps that we can add on, some advanced routing features that we can do. So there's a few things I'm going to show. I'm going to show you how to automatically set up a scheduling option to integrate with your scheduling software. I'm going to demonstrate Calendly. I'll also show you how to route to basically just automatically complete the form based off of this budget amount. And I'm going to show an option where the user can decide if they want us to reach out or if they would like to just go schedule something on our calendar. I'm going to go down to ending, and I'm just going to put thank you for completing our form. And then we can add a couple of other text options here. So we could add, we will be in touch soon. And that's if they've selected the option to have us reach out to them, or thank you for scheduling call. And now I need to add a additional page. So I'm going to add a new form, and I'm just going to call this route. You can name it really whatever you want. It does not matter. I'm going to add a drop down option, and I'm just going to say something along the lines, do you want to schedule a call or for us to reach out? And we add two options. I will schedule call. Please contact me, and I'll make this required. Now we can see here, we've got those two options. So I'm going to add another new page. I'm going to add a schedule, integrate with our Calendly option here. So I'll just hit continue. It's good. I want to continue with that. You'll have to connect to your Calendly account if you have not done so already. I'm just going to select my demo event here. I can go down to Calendly pre-fills, and I can pre-fill this from information earlier within our form. So I know that I've already had them enter their email address. So I'll go back to the first page and map email address there, and then their name. I'm going to first name. I will map the last name as well. Once you've mapped those fields and data, we can go back down here and we can add a new page. So we're going to add an ending. I'll just label this ending 2. Again, doesn't really matter, whatever I name it. And what I'm going to do is just say something along those lines. Again, you will get the point. I'm just using this to show you how to use the logic to route to different areas based off of answers that the leads provide us. So I'll go back to the first page. And one other thing that I'm going to show you before I dive into some of the routing and the logic, go into settings. I'll select conversion kit here, and here's the form abandonment feature. So I can respond or send an email to the respondent. So the person completing the form, that after a certain amount of time, if they did not complete the form, they will get an email notification with a link for them to pick up where they've left off. And then same thing, I can send an email to myself or my team, to notify us that someone started filling out the form, but they did not complete it. So you just toggle those on, and then you can send the email to the email address it provided and send it after a certain amount of time. 1 hour, days, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can customize the email, and then same thing with sending to yourself. After a certain amount of time, you can get notified that this person or this lead started completing the form. They did complete it. Go back to edit. I'm going to click into the logic now, and I will begin my routing conditions, and I'll show you how to do that. I want to just click here and drag down to ending 2. And the condition is going to be when on the first page, the project budget is equal to less than $1,500. So if this company or this person has a budget of less than $1,500, we do not want them to have to proceed any further, wasting any of their time. We don't want them to book a call because it just does not meet our guidelines. If the budget is something greater than that amount, basically anything else, the default route is to go to this route page. And again, a route page is just a simple question. Do you want to schedule a call, or do you want us to reach out? So click back into the logic here. I'll take the route, and I will take this. I'll click and I'll swing around to this ending here. If I click this button, it will format the layout for us to make it a little clearer. So basically all we're doing here is we'll set another condition that if the route is equal to please contact me, we don't want to send them to the scheduling page because that's not what they want. It can just go to the end page. We'll just display a message that we will be in touch soon. And if that's not the option they pick, We could add a condition that says if they pick the please schedule a call, it will go this route. But because there's only 2 options as there is, it'll just automatically go to the scheduling route and then to the ending. So that's it. The conditional logic here is really simple. I will close this out. I'll go to the ending page, and there's just one last thing I need to do, and it's with some logic. So the we will be in touch soon. I want that to show when the route is equal to please contact me. And then I'll select this thank you for scheduling a call, and I want that to show when the route is equal to I will schedule a call. Depending on what's selected here, it will show the ending message here. I think we have touched on everything. It should be set up correctly. I'll go through, do some testing to show you how this all works. So I'll go back to the first page, go up to preview, and I will do some testing here. I already showed you what would happen if we added a business email address that exists and it finds that data. So I used Tim Cook as an example from Apple, and it completed those details accordingly. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a random email address. I'll just put in my name with a bunch of letters, gmail.com. You can see it's doing a search here. It's trying to find if that email address is actually valid. And you can see here that it's coming up with a little X icon, meaning that because I've used a Gmail address, it will not allow us to continue and submit the form. The other thing, if I add my actual business address and accidentally put it as .co, it'll do a search, and that email address is also not valid because I made a mistake and didn't put .com. So I'll add the M in there, validate my address. It's found my business name. I could add to it if I needed. Didn't find my name, so I can add that in here. I can select project budget, and I'll click this less than 1,500. Click submit, and it just completes the form. Thank you for submitting. Did not meet the requirements. So I'm going to go back here. I'll try that again. I'll select a budget that is valid. So the 1,500. Completed my company website. I can add in address if I want. And this 123 Main Street. You can see that auto completes my address here. I'll select next. Now it's asking me, do you want to schedule a call or for us to reach out? So if I click please contact me, you can see it switches to submit. So if I click submit here, it would just show thank you, we will be in touch soon. Switch back to I will schedule a call. Select next. Select the date here if I need to. So I'll go in date and time. You can see that it pre-fills my name and email address. Makes it really simple. I'll schedule event, and it will take me to the last page just saying thank you for completing our form and thank you for scheduling a call or whatever it may be. We've touched on the autocomplete features using the email enrichment, the autocomplete using the address. We've touched on how to route to different areas depending on answers that have been provided, integrate with Calendly or another booking system to have calls scheduled. And I've shown you how to turn on using the settings conversion kit to turn on the form abandonment. And the last thing that I won't dive into too much here, and for those of you that aren't familiar with Fillout, if you go into integrations, you can add this information automatically to your database, to Google Sheets. Airtable and SmartSuite are 2 that I work with very regularly to build CRMs or different contact databases. You can connect with Monday or HubSpot if you use that as a CRM. If you use some other software, another CRM, something along those lines, and you want to add this data automatically, you can use different tools such as Zapier or Make to send that information to your CRM. And there's a lot of other softwares that are integrated natively with Fillout. But for the most part, if you have something in mind that you want to accomplish, it can probably be done with this tool or some integration software. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button so you can get more tutorials in the future. Thank you.